But you do want to make sure that you have HTTPS in the beginning of your URL, because HTTPS with the S at the end means that your site is secure. Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up basic settings in WordPress. Now, basic settings might not be flashy, but they lay the foundation for a site that feels professional and works correctly. Once these are in place, you are ready to move on to managing user profiles, the focus of this next session. Set up your site fast and don't miss anything. All you need to do is click the link below to learn how. Okay, so you set up your WordPress site, but then when you look at the home page, something really feels off, right? The site title still says, just another WordPress site, and the time zone doesn't match the location, so posts show the wrong date. These might seem like small details, but they shape how professional your site looks and how smoothly it runs. Getting these settings right from the start saves you frustration later. So by the end of the session, you'll know how to change the site title and tagline so they reflect your brand. You're going to be able to adjust your time zone and date format so posts display correctly, and you're going to be able to decide whether your home page shows your latest post or static page. And you're going to be able to update your general settings so your site feels polished and professional. Now, the settings menu in WordPress might not look exciting, but it controls the fundamentals of your site. These options affect how your site appears to visitors, and how content is dated, and even how search engines read your site. 10 minutes here now means fewer headaches down the road. So to get here, go to Settings and General, and this is the menu that shows up. First, we're going to start with the site title. This is going to be the main name of your site, shown in the Browser tab, and sometimes in themes. For example, Sarah's Sweet Tarts. Now, your tagline is a short description like Custom Cakes in Cleveland, or in this case, Welcome to Milford Transit District. If you don't want a tagline, you can just leave that blank. Now, this is a WordPress address of your site. This is going to control what the website address is, and for most parts you don't want to touch this, but you do want to make sure that you have HTTPS in the beginning of your URL, because HTTPS with the S at the end means that your site is secure. If you don't have that S at the end, you want to make sure that you received a certificate when you installed this website or when you got your hosting. If you don't have the S in there, then you want to make sure that you contact your hosting provider and find out why you do not have an HTTPS or SSL certificate is what it's called. Now, in the administration email address here, this is where WordPress sends notifications and password resets. So make sure it's the one that you check often. So this is my email address, which I check all the time. You can also change this email address if you want to, just by typing in a new email address, and then this will say that the email address is pending, and you need to go to your email and verify it, and then it will show up here. So if you want people to be able to sign up for your membership, you want to click here, anyone can register, and you want to make sure that you want to make their role as a subscriber, unless you want to make them a SEO editor or SEO manager, contributor, author, or even an administrator like me. It's up to you, but I suggest just leaving it as a subscriber. Also, you want to put in here whatever language that you speak. So this is English, United States, and my time zone is New York, but you can set your time zone by anything that's in the menu here. So I'm just going to keep mine here at New York. Now, in the date format here, you can choose how your date looks on your blogs. So I have mine set for this type of date, October 1st, or you can change it to this way or this way, however you want it to display on your blogs. And your time format is, this is the way I display mine. You can display it as military time if you want to. You can customize that if you want to. Also, on weeks start on, my weeks start on a Monday. You can have your week start on any day of the week that you want to. And once you're done with all these changes, all you have to do is click on Save Changes, and they will be saved to your settings. So next we're going to go to Settings and Writing. So now here you can decide your post category. So if you want it to be uncategorized for the default, you can leave it that way, or you can select a category that you have already created. You can decide the post format, so you can have it standard or any kind of way that you want it to look. You could also decide the editor that you want to use, either the classic editor or the block editor. I prefer the classic editor because it's easier for me. Some people might like the block editor better. Now in this settings here, you can allow users that are on the website to switch editors if they want to, which I don't recommend you do that. Here for the post email, I would just leave these settings alone. And this is where you can automatically ping services so that your site gets out there faster. And again, once you're done with your settings, all you got to do is click Save Settings. So next we're going to go to the Reading section. Now here you can decide what your home page shows. By default, it's your latest post, which works if you're running a blog. But if you'd rather have a fixed home page like a welcome page or service pages, you could choose a static page instead. Here I have my home page set for public transportation and my post page for blogs set for blogs. This is also where you decide how many blog posts appear on one page and whether to discourage search engines from indexing your site. If you want your site to be found on Google, make sure that box is unchecked. And here I'm only showing 10 posts on each page, and for each post I just want to show an excerpt and not the full text. And make sure you don't check this box if you want Google to find your posts. And then click Save Changes. Next we're going to talk about the discussion section. Okay, now this is where you can set your preferences to whether people can do comments, and if you do let them do comments, then you want to be able to hold a comment for moderation. That way people won't make comments and put links in them and everything else like that, because people like to spam blogs that have, especially that have traffic. So you want to be able to moderate those comments. So here's the settings that I have right here, which is fairly typical. You can set the amount of comments on each page. You can choose comments when post is how many days old, so you can choose, you can close comments if there's so many days. And like this is the most important one right here, you know, a comment is held for moderation. Comment author must have a previously approved comment if they're going to be able to comment on your site. So these are settings that you can set up for yourself. The next section I want to show you is media, and in this section right here you can choose some thumbnail size that is going to be your default thumbnail size, and your medium size you can set that default, and the large size you can set that default. Don't forget, most important, always save changes when you change something. Now the last one that I'm going to talk about is the permalinks. Now when you first start a new site, most of the time the permalinks will either go to plain, day, or some random thing, structure, but it never comes on post name. Always make sure that you click on post name. This is going to give you a clean URL, and it's just going to put your website URL right there with a backslash and the name of your post up here. You can have a custom structure if you know what you're doing and you know that you want to show a category before the post name. This just makes the URL structure easier for Google to navigate your site. Okay, so before we move on, I want you to try this. Update your site title and tagline to something that fits your purpose, and I want you to set your time zone and date format and decide whether your home page will show your latest posts or a static page. Here's the key takeaway. Basic settings may not be flashy, but they lay the foundation for a site that looks professional and works correctly. Once these things are in place, then you're ready to move on to managing your user profiles. That will be the focus of our next session. So if you got any value with this video, please consider subscribing and tingling the icon bell so you're notified every time that I come out with a new WordPress video tutorial like this one. Thanks for watching.